Hello all, welcome back to this old save, and today we're going to do a bit more freighter work. Check out some of the renovations that have been done to the freighter in between episodes. As you can see right away, look, a label. Two labels. Look what I've done, all the work that I've done. No, we've put a bunch more decals in. We've decorated. We've also decorated. Put a couple of flags in. I really like the flags on the approach to the bridge. It brightens up this hallway a bit. The lights here, as you can see, like there's real dips. Like look right there, it's real shadows. Even if we go and look at my character here, look how dull the reflections are. And if I step forward, there'll be a bunch of bright light reflecting off of me. And that comes and goes in these hallways from these lights that are spaced out like that. You can see the dips in between each of them. So, I thought the bridge could use more lighting all the way. I thought the bridge could use more lighting. I've put some candelabra blooms in the corners there. Not as many as I did on the permadeath freighter, but it lights up the room just the same. I wanted some different decorations, some multitudinous, some variety. So I put in a couple of the underwater ones in, as you can see. Well, I guess candelabra blooms are also underwater, but more of them instead of just candelabra blooms. Also put in uh, not all of the robotic companions that I had on the old version of this saves freighter. I had all 10 of them on the bridge before. You can place 10 on any base unless you glitch more than 10 in. I wouldn't recommend doing that. There's a reason they limit these things usually. Probably because these things make noise, and putting 10 in one spot might break your sound. I don't know. I also like to put in the terminals for your technicians, whether you summon them in or not, to act as bridge crew. It's nice to have some stations here, a science station and a overseer station, monitor station. And all the stations, I've got all four. I do not have the exocraft station here, but I do have the exocraft summoning item thing, that room that lets you summon them from your freighter. So that's sort of counting, I guess. Up top, this is a Gek crewed freighter, so I put some golden Gek statues looking off into the distance. Let's go exploring Geks. Yeah, yeah, queer. All right, so back to the decals. I've put the expedition decal on each of my expedition rooms. We have a couple of expeditions that are done. I could recall them. You see, manage expedition. See, it says expedition. I'm not just making that word up and connecting that label for no reason. I've made a portal label. I mean, it's pretty obvious what this room is just by looking at the portal that's there. We could try wiring up a sensor, a distance sensor, so this only turns on when you step into the room. I don't know if that works on freighters without changing your building restrictions. I could look into that, but I haven't. I just decaled it. It's been decaled. I colored all of the insides of, what do you call these things? Storage rooms? Let's take a peek. Let's look in the menu. Freighter, no, it's going to be, yeah, it'll be here, right? No, it's going to be in tech. Storage. Yeah. Freighter storage unit is the official designation of that item. I've doubled the direction of these hallways. They don't just curve to the back now, and I've labeled them up. We have some crew quarters up there, and we have on this side, it's going to be, I think, storage, because if we go to the other side, you'll remember that we had started putting in some greenery up there, and that's what it is up there. We have more crew quarters on this side. Let's go take a look at the finished green room. Some of these don't have power. I cannot figure out why. I don't know if it's just that these rooms are overloaded and have too much power in them. They only have standing planters, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'm okay with it. I've tried putting in the lights, and that's not fixing them either. The light is not getting these things power, so I'll just live with it. It's fine. But I think it looks pretty good. I have shortened these rooms by one nub here at the end. Just so I could get this hallway in, going back down to the back room, where we had all the barrels, the natural back room. That was the natural back wall. And I have put in some hydroponic trays, some large hydroponic trays. We've got 6 large hydroponic trays, which is enough to put in 2 of each possible plant you can grow, including the strange ones like sac venom, Gravitino hosts, pearls, and nip nip. Which really, this room looks more like a nip nip room. Look at all the green reflection. Look, there's so much greenery in here. The white light is reflecting green off of me. Look at my backpack, it's all green. Cool. All right, so continuing on, I have some empty rooms here. I haven't finished the entire freighter yet. I'm not totally done. That room alone, this green room, took over an hour to finish filling with these things. It's so annoying. They're not even all precise. I gave up doing precise. They're just eyeballed. They're close enough, especially because when I got to this room here, these two nubs, they have a different room than any of the other rooms. They have the curved corridor room right here, and that is not a T intersection room like I would be standing in here. This is a T intersection. It starts there, goes to there, and goes to there. Or it is not an X intersection room, which has the 4 exits. This here is just a curved corridor, and you cannot insert these things into the curve as much as you can in the other 2 rooms. As you can see, if you look at the floor, this one goes beneath the black circle, and this one had no choice but to stick out past. So when I saw that, I'm like, you know what, precision doesn't matter. You wouldn't even notice if I didn't measure. Well, you might have. Good for you if you did. But it doesn't bother me enough. You're going to be coming through this room pretty quick and harvesting some plants if you're even doing that. Mostly, that's there for looks, to be honest. I don't need carbon from that kind of source. Well, I say that, but I probably will run out of carbon at some point. All right, and from there, we head into the crew quarters rooms. I seem to have put a T or an X intersection here for some reason. You know what I'm going to do after I show you the rooms? The rooms themselves are not yet finished. I haven't really done anything with them except one test room, which I'll show you in a second. I am thinking of changing up which actual room I use for these. If we go back into freighter parts, we have 3 options for freighter room. They're all just called large freighter room, but they look different. So I'm using the 3rd one right now, and that has these black reflective panels there and these grills. And I like this room a lot. I love how it looks, but you can't really put stuff on these walls as easily as you can without interacting with that, say that grill gets in the way. So I might change the back room of each of these rooms to be, I think, the flat one. You see the wall in the back there. It is flat. It's got nothing on it. So I might do that just to help decorate a bit. And if you look over here, I am putting in these because I've been experimenting using something I saw on Action Pants Gaming channel and using these to create a force field to sort of like block off rooms, like the door is closed, because we don't have doors. There's no freighter doors yet, which is a pain in my butt. But they don't, you know, see what I mean? There's a gap on the sides. They don't fit exactly. This is as big as I could get it to actually not be a red stated item. It was able to place green stated just like this, no glitchery needed. I just enlarged it, rotated it around and placed it up against something. And it's not perfectly aligned. You can see that. There's a little bit of a white showing there, and on this side it's like perfectly aligned with the black. So it is a little bit crooked, and that bothers me a bit. And I'd like to pull it out a little bit further so it goes right through the middle of the black. I'm figuring those dimensions out, but what I came up with in the meantime is that if I put one of these lockers in here, that looks pretty, you know, like a good natural fit. It merges real nice. It's nice and centered. It was very easy to get it in centered. I can show you that, and you can get through. This is enough of a gap for a player character to get through if we want some of these doors to be open. And if I don't, it's enough of a narrowing that I can fit this as a green state at an even smaller size. So you see the bottom here, we have a bit of a glow. That's because near the edge of those screens, I'm just using the blue version of that green screen we have over there. It's interesting that from the back side you do not see any of those glowing nubs, so it makes it really cool for a force field effect. But we don't get that at the top because it's extended way past the top. So if I narrow this door even more to fit in a narrower gap, you know, so that it looks like that. Maybe we can get those effects on the top and bottom. We'll see. I do have to be careful though, because the arms that hold it to the wall are still there. So look, yeah, you can see it coming through the front of the door here. That's the arm sticking out. And if I shrink it, it might come through the floor. As you can see, if I walk forward, boop, I get pushed to the side. And that's because I'm being pushed to the side by the arm. So it's just a visual thing. So we are going to lock some of these rooms up. We'll have some of them open. I got to decorate all of them. I've only done the one. You know, we got the bed, we got the heater, we got a table. You have to decorate the room first too, because you can't get back in there after you're done. So yeah, I'll figure all that out. We'll decorate all of these. I have a corridor going down the front of the ship, and this is what's making me really want to try playing with build restrictions turned off. I don't like modifying the game, and it is sort of a mod. It's a mod you do yourself. You edit a simple file with a text editor, and you just suddenly have the ability to place anything you want. Whether you're on your freighter or not, you can even place freighter parts when you're on your planetary base. It's sort of cool. Generally, I don't like doing that, but I'm really tempted because I would love to have that glass. I'd love to have that hallway at the front have like a glass corridor, like just a bunch of glass cuboid rooms along this side, looking out over the bridge and into space and stuff. I don't want to be able to fall into space, but I think that would be cool. Yeah, so I might do that. I might, but I haven't yet. All right, something I would like to do today is work on the other side where I do not have a grow up going. There are not carbon planters. If we head over to the back on this side, you can see it's the same room, it's just empty. It's got nothing placed in it yet. So what I'm considering doing, I don't know. I would like this to not be more carbon. I think we could do some sort of storage facility. This is a freighter, right? It should have some sort of freight, even if it's just visual stuff. But I was thinking what we could do is something similar to this. This room I would like to keep having these barrel fabricators here, but maybe we could put some of these up in that room. Not like a full room of them like this room here is of barrels, but these do look like, you know, storage crates. They are storage crates. So they could be on some shelves, and there'd be some practical stuff to grab up there as well. A reason to go up to that room. And, you know, some visual stuff as well. So maybe we can work on that. So how close am I to that room? Am I on my build ship? What starship do I have selected? I am not. Let's go switch ships and let's build some stuff. I could recall these frigate missions, well, the two that are done, but let's not worry about that today. Still leveling up those frigates. Got lots of new ones. Lots to do. Alright, starship switched. Restore point saved. That's something else that is good to do when you're building, is make some frequent saves. In fact, I could have, if we didn't need to switch ships to something that has, you know, materials on it, I could have just gone to the portal room here and activated the manual save point that I have hidden around the corner. But we didn't do that. Oh, you know, something I could do is put one of these over between these plants over here, because one of the reasons that you would need these plants is to mix them together and to make some stuff. And I think I am carrying one of these. Yeah, green. Yeah, it says available to build, and it's not telling me the material, so that means I'm going to place one that I'm carrying, right? Right? I think. Well, even though they're just down the hall, and I could just go get them, what's the harm of putting one more right there? It gets an item out of my inventory. Speaking of out of my inventory, let's get out of my body, go into build camera, and delete this hallway. So we can get out of that, locked into the freighter mode, and we can get an aerial view of the whole layout. Let's do that first of all. Do a tour this way. Let's pick the color so we're on the right room. We can see our empty tube room. I don't know what I'm calling them, the tube room. Ooh, look at that planet in the background. Cool. And we can see our filled one. I think that looks pretty cool. We can see our crew quarters. Yeah, it looks like I'm short a room, but if I connect that one, will that room connect? How close am I to this wall? Can I see this one? Yeah, why did I put a T intersection there? So for example, if I go to here and I pick a room, yeah, it'll just connect this hallway. I think what I would like to do here is put a T intersection, not an X intersection. Okay, so let's go to the T intersection. And I will delete this room. That shouldn't affect anything. And I'll pull this across and rotate it. There we go. Yeah, that works for my purposes. And I'll do the same on the other side. Since we're not going anywhere over there, maybe my plan was to extend this with a hallway. But for now, I'm not building another room over there, so I will replace it with the T intersection. There we go. Okay, that was one little mistake I wanted to fix. That's why this mode is so helpful when you're building the freighter. You can do lots of stuff, and that's what we're going to do over here. If I'm going to put storage in, it's not going to go around these things very easily, but I do want to mirror what I've done over there. So I'm only going to delete the inside areas of this room. Oh, no, that was too much. Okay, how am I going to do this? Okay, I want that in there. I don't want that, and I don't want that, I think. Okay, now I want to put these rooms in. No, that still leaves me with this. Okay, so I do need to get rid of... Let's see how this looks. Okay. The entrance looks the same, but on the inside it's very flat, and I was hoping to be able to get a rounded corridor only here and here, and not on the inside of that room. Is there a piece that I could do that accomplishes that? Not really, because if I say delete this room and use this, it does, but then the other half of the room is blocked off, and it's not a hallway, it's just like empty. I want it open to the rest of the room, and if I rotate it, it creates another cylinder. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I think I have to have this just all the way open. Now, because this is a storage room, however, do I want to do something like change the type of room I'm using? Well, not for the middle. That doesn't matter because it's not going to have any walls. But the two corridor or the two side portions will have walls. We could change what they look like by, say, using this one, which I normally don't like, but it has some neat bracing on the walls that maybe we could play with. So let's try that. And it gives the freighter some extra texture. Not every room is exactly the same. Like, what would be the difference between this room and this room, for example, if I had the exact same walls everywhere? Besides how I decorate it, obviously. Wow, that room seems so much bigger as a 3x3 of rooms than it is a 3x3 of corridors, doesn't it? Yeah, that gets a lot wider. Wow. Yeah, I'm still okay with it because the entrance is still the same shape and size and positioning, so that's fine. And it looks okay. Now, to put stuff inside, if we want to decorate any of this stuff, if we want to say put, you know, one of these in, a storage unit, as you can see, I'm still above it. I can't place stuff in here. We have to go into not first-person building mode. I can leave first-person building mode, no problem. I don't have to, I can be in build camera, no problem. But I do have to go like that, back to first person, and then into build camera, so that I'm back inside the freighter, and now I can place stuff inside without leaving build mode at all. what I would like to place is some of these heavy duty, what are they called? Heavy duty furniture? Heavy duty furniture. Yeah, it's a storage rack. Furniture. Okay. I mean, I guess it is a type of furniture, but that's very vague, isn't it? I like that that fits almost exactly perfectly between those. It's not centered, so I'm going to try to fix that. And you can see why this takes me an hour to do a simple planter room, because, yeah, I got to do stuff like this and make it perfect. And we don't get snap points with this stuff. You have to eyeball most of it, so getting it in there precisely is a bit of a hassle, especially using something like a mouse. Now, as you can see, the back panels of this are phasing into the wall a bit, so I could pull this even further out, but then I lose my center because I'm bad with a mouse. And where would I like it to merge? I would like it to, yeah, that looks good to me. It's not perfectly straight, I can tell because of how it came out of the wall. And actually it looks pretty good. I'm going to place it. And then I'm going to leave that item so I can get a good angle on viewing it. And that merges with these things a little bit, but that's perfect actually. I want it to look like it's welded into the wall, and that's what these braces were going to be for. It's exactly why I wanted to use this room. Perfect, it's working, and I didn't have to resize that. I can resize it so that it goes in, you know, more snugly. That's no problem. However, putting it at the default size means all I have to do is rotate it and then fit them in meticulously like I just did. Each and every one of them, which is only going to be 4, or is it going to be 6? That's pretty close. Not good enough, but pretty close. Come on. Okay. Oh, that's better. And I think that's a little bit too far out, but I bet if I back it up, I won't be able to get it right. So I'm just going to go with that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outsides in the rooms that have those kind of walls. No problem. I will also be able to fit some here. Yeah, those fit very nicely there. And they'll be a little bit easier to line up because I don't have to fit them in between those pillars, and I just have to get it straight, which it is not. And so the way I like to get straight, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. First of all, I want to make sure it's lined up. Oh, that's pretty good right there. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Now, on the other one, though, I'll show you what I do. So I want to use this line here. I wish I had a build camera light. Anyway, there's a line right in between. That's my middle center point line. And if I just start building here and I rotate it the way, we can see that if I line this up straight with the line on the floor that goes the other way, to get my straight of the shelf, you can see I'm way off center. I want to be on this thing, but now I'm crooked. So what I would do, whoops, usually I'll stay on the item, keep it rotated the way I want. A big item like this, sometimes I will back out and just get my cursor so I can see if I'm on the line or not. But let's be on the shelf. And if we want, we could shrink it. And if that helps, if it's getting in the way, we can shrink it a bit, right? We can still see if it's lined up straight or not. And then when we want to go and place it at the default size, we just simply go to the next item, we go back and rotate it, and it's at the default size, and we didn't move our mouse at all. But we are not at the center point, so let's shrink it a bit. Let's rock in and out. See, I'm going backward and forward. I'm not using a controller. This is mouse and keyboard, so controller has it a bit different, a bit easier to line stuff up. You can go sideways with your analog sticks, very small amounts, and you're going very precisely sideways. You can't really do that on a mouse and keyboard because you're using the keyboard to go sideways, and it's a huge jump. It's not an analog press. Or is it analog? Anyway, it's the opposite. It's the one that you don't get a lot of control of. It's just go. Full on go. You move. And there's no finesse. So you can see I'm off center, but I am lined up. So I want to go this way a bit, and I'll move forward, and then I'll move my cursor back. I went too far forward, so I want to be back on that angle, back a bit. And am I straight? I'm not only not straight, I want to go one more tick like that. That's more straight, but I'm way off center, so I want to back up a bit. Nope, that was too much. And if you change the angle, see, if I go like this, I will vastly change the angle by going forward. And if I go like this, I will only very minorly change the angle backward. So you have to rock back and forth to, get it lined up and straight. And that's what you see me doing when I'm going in and out like that. I'm just trying to line stuff up. Okay, that is going to merge into the back. That is crooked, so that is not straight, even though it looks pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. If I get this, come on, one tick, no. Okay. Well, I'm not going to go on all day with this. Whoops, I want to be back on that. Rotate. That's merging into the wall, so I want to come out. Yeah, it's not good enough for me. That's better. That's a lot better. Just so that it stops merging out of the wall. Yeah, that's very centered. I am very happy with that one. I think this one is actually better than that one. That's okay. They don't have to be perfect. I haven't even started filling these up yet. We're going to put some in the middle of the room too. Those ones are going to be a little bit trickier to navigate. But for example, I want to do something like this, where I use the same center line. I should have just backed up because I was fairly centered. And then I'll rotate it like that, so I'm seeing the back of it. And I'll say, put it on this. This isn't exactly centered or straight. Actually, that's fairly good. It could be a bit better. And then I'll see how it's like to walk through this, and if that's enough room for the character. And if it is, then I'll put another one. And this is another reason why the default size is working great for me. Back to back with this one to create sort of in-room wall. And then we can fill these up. And yeah, that's pretty good. I can tell that it's crooked. It's a little bit too far in on this side compared to that side. So if we was doing a long room of these, we would notice by the end this corridor would get a lot skinnier by the end of a long room. But that's basically what it's going to look like. Now let's get out of build camera mode. We can get out of build mode. And let's run up there and take a peek in person. See what it's like while walking through. Yeah, I like how this is going to look. I do like those red lights. I didn't notice as those were part of the room. That's cool. Very neat stuff. Lots of room to walk through here. I don't know if any of the items we're going to be placing on these shelves take whatchamacallit, physical space off the shelf that would block us. We can try that real quick by placing some. First things first, let's make, I'm on the starship there. I do not have antimatter. Oh, I'm all out of antimatter. Okay, let's make some real quick. There it is. How many can I make? Well, I'm not going to make that many items anyway, but let's just have some left over. Okay, tech, storage, crate fabricator. Okay, I cannot change the size of these. Am I correct? I am correct. Okay, we cannot change the size. Which way is the front? That way. Okay. Oh, they do fit on these shelves. That's perfect. The default size is what I want. Great. Since this shelf is probably going to be staying, let's try to get it on here. That is not bad. Not bad. I don't know that that's perfectly centered, but it's going to be good enough. It fits. If it fits, it sits. And let's put one on the top as well. They can merge into the wall at the back. It doesn't bother me. I'd rather they don't merge at the front, because as we walk by in person, we're not even going to notice that they're sticking into the wall or through the back of the shelf, because we really can't see past the back of the shelf, can we now? It's touching the wall. So let's grab one of these. What do we get? Oh, we don't want a Viking effigy. And life support gel. That's okay. Okay, so that's that. This has been the base tour. We're going to take a bit of a break, and then we'll come back and we'll show off what I get done. And I thought we could do all of this off camera and I could just do the full base tour when I was done. But it's taking forever. You saw how much we accomplished in about half hour of tour plus building. Not a lot. It takes a long time to build this stuff, especially when you're building without a plan. I got all of those rooms to do, those crew quarters. They take forever. Getting that force field lined up is terrible. Okay, so one thing I want to do, this is how we could have grabbed some antimatter, and this is what I want to show you real quick. Well, condensed carbon, that'll help us make antimatter if we want. Antimatter housing we don't really need. Okay, so you see that I haven't got any antimatter yet. Okay, there, finally one. So, a trick that I have been shown is that, especially for a freighter, that's how it works on a freighter at least. I don't know about putting these on a planetary base. We're going to try. I'm going to put a bunch of this stuff in at the platinum base on permadeath. And that's my experiment over there. But, okay, so I've looted them all. They can't be looted again, right? I'm targeting, not getting an E. Okay, I'm going to go downstairs. Not all the way into my ship. I don't need to do that. All I need to do is walk through this airlock right here. Both sides. Doors closed. Back up. Into the back. And now we can loot all of these all over again. Search. Where was that antimatter at? It was over here, right? Was that it? Yeah, there we go. So I could have got the antimatter like that. Now, these are always going to be the exact same item. We will always get the same item no matter what. Unless what we do is we do go downstairs and we do get into our ship and we move our freighter anywhere else. Moving your freighter will change where it is in the nodes, I guess, where those barrels are, and where they're located determines what is in them. So on a planet, that never changes, and you can bank on getting the same item every time when you're putting them on a base. But up here on a freighter, your freighter does move, and you move it. And if you don't like what you're getting from your barrels or your crates, go move your freighter somewhere else, and you can get a whole new loadout. And try there. Maybe we could get a whole bunch more antimatter. Maybe we can make that whole room antimatter, right? So we don't need to worry about what is located where. We're just going to build an entire room of barrel fabricators and crate fabricators and other storage stuff for the people of the crew that are very non-existent, unfortunately. But until next time, everyone, have a good time.